The reality of hiring people, so often I talk to providers that just want to stay solo. And I get it because when I started my business, that's exactly what I was trying to do, just stay solo because it just felt easier and I was going to be content because I wasn't at my job. If I could just see 8 to 9 patients a week, I would be replacing my income and I was good with that. I also threw around the word a lot, like I wanted a work-life balance and I just wanted to feel healthy and I wanted to spend time with my family. As I started to grow my business, it became more and more clear that I didn't want to just replace my income because I could do that. And I realized that wasn't it because if I was sick, which I was, if I wanted a vacation with my mom or my husband, I couldn't take it. And I started to realize the dream that I once had is actually now changed into something that was better because I started to see there was different levels to this game. And I didn't realize that at first. I thought the game is I win the game if I just replace my income. Like then I made it. Like that's amazing. That's what I wanted. But you don't have a business then. You don't have the business run without you. You don't have an actual business. Because what happens if your kids get sick? What happens if you get sick? No one can take over that business. Let's say you're paying for space. How are you going to pay that rent? Like, seriously, you actually are creating a big liability for yourself. And I'm not discouraging anyone from starting their own business. I highly recommend it because it has completely changed my life. However, I just need you guys to see past this. And I get at first, you're so overwhelmed that you're just like, no, it would just be like amazing if I could just see like 8 or 9 clients a week. Like, I would absolutely love that. I know. And it is amazing, trust me. But there still is something missing at 8 clients a week because what people don't tell you is you still have to go out and make connections, especially at first. So then the rest of your time is you trying to network. You're at events, you're going to Pilates classes, you're going to all these networking things, you're meeting, people online. You're doing all this stuff. And so that's what's actually taking up your time. So then you realize, well, I still actually don't have work-life balance. So now what? And you want to get to a point where it's phase two, where you actually hire. Hiring is key. Even if you want to be mobile, even if you want to be purely virtual, even if you want a brick and mortar, it is all the same thing. You need to hire, whether or not that's an admin, a personal trainer, a provider, whatever it is, hiring is key to get your time and money because every single person says that that's what they want. But no one understands you have to go through 3 phases to get there. It's not phase one, you've gotten there. Phase one is you created another job for you. But the second that you stop working, you don't have income. And at phase one, you don't have time because you're either seeing patients or you're marketing. That's all phase one is. Phase two, and why I really believe that hiring is key, is you hire because it takes stress off you. The business starts to run without just you. And you, yes, are going to have to pay those people, so your profit goes down, okay? However, you start to gain and get your time back. And that's what everyone wants. Everyone wants that more than money. Everyone wants a clear calendar. Don't we all want that? Well, if you freaking want that, then you got to hire. It's the only way. You don't have a clear calendar just seeing 8 clients a week. You don't. You have a job because you got to keep those 8 clients and you got to continuously market. Okay. So your hiring is key, even though I know it's scary. And what I find that why most people don't hire it is they're terrified to hire. And I was one of those. It took me 9 months before I hired, and I was making 30K a month for 3 months straight. And I was like, I don't know if I have enough money. And then my other false belief was, well, I'm going to pay this new grad $90,000 and I didn't even make 90,000. So how could I pay them that? And because I couldn't afford me, so how could I afford the providers? I just didn't realize that I just didn't realize, like, I should have hired way sooner because I could have gotten a lot further faster if I hired instead of just being so fearful. But I was so fearful. And my worst nightmare came true. I hired, and 2 months later, the PT quit on me because I wasn't organized, because I didn't even know how to do payroll. I didn't even know what payroll was. I didn't even know the word of payroll. I didn't know clue what that meant. And so hiring, though, gives you your time, which everyone says they want that. So why are they not hiring? Why are we so scared? And then phase three is where we hire out completely. You are not seeing patients anymore, and you are the visionary, you're the auditor, and you're the leader of the company that's saying, hey, we need to go this direction, pivot this way, and do the things. That's a true company. That's a true leader. And that's the level that you want to get to, even though most are scared, because that's where you're going to have the time, all the time you want, and the money. And that's it. And so when it comes to realities of hiring, is you have to, I always say, hire for people that are opposite than you. I think that's key because I think they have different strengths and you have different strengths. And if together, if you could actually work together and not butt heads and like really see the differences of how they view something and how you view it, it's like so different. This is Julia and I. She will take a sentence and view it over here, and I will view it over here. And it's like, but wait, it could mean both of those things. And so that's really important to know, is that both those things do exist. Um, and that's okay. Like hire opposite because there's different strengths. And then the more input you get, the better in the business. That's what I believe. Okay. Also, what I would say is the reality of hiring is you really have to make sure expectations are set clear. So let me go through the process of hiring and bringing someone on. So number one, you have to put out an ad correctly. You have to make sure that an ad speaks to the ideal client or the ideal employee that you are trying to target. So if you are trying to target an admin and you put out an admin position, but then you put out another ad that says sales and marketing position, the sales and marketing actually might get more hits than just straight up admin. And it might be the person that you're looking for most because maybe you're having them do social media and then you're having them handle sales objections over the phone. So the sales and marketing, you may get you're going to, well, not may, you are going to get a completely different person than just a straight up admin. Their skills typically are going to be a lower level. Okay. So just something to think about. So the ad is very like, that's the first thing you got to get right, which we help people with, and we already have built out for each condition for virtual and on and in-person business. Okay. The next thing is you have to get your interviewing process right. You can't just like them because they have cool vibes. Like that's how I used to hire, just because they had cool vibes. I realize people will be so fake to your face and then be a completely different person behind your back. Okay. So don't hire just off vibes. Hire because they're the right person to do the job and you've actually checked their skills to do the job. So the third thing is I have them go through a skills checklist with me. I don't teach them anything. I just have them say, this scenario comes up, what would you do? If this scenario comes up, what would you do? And then I also ask, what's the hardest thing you've ever been through in your life and how did you get over that? Because I like people that work on my team that have had some kind of trauma or pain. And that's not negative. I just find people that have had some kind of pain and grit, they're going to work best with me and my personality and how I operate because we go hard and we want to be the best and our standards are very high. We're not, I don't play around with people that just kind of want to be there for the job. It's not it. Number four, you have to know the standards that you want to live by. So is that where you're not going to compromise and you're going to hold high standards and you're going to know exactly like what the expectation is. So that's laying out expectations clear. For instance, if I had providers on, my providers need to be in 10 minutes before their first patient because the standard is that we are ready and prompt when those patients are ready to be pulled back. And that is the standard because we are premium, and part of being premium's care is that you're going to be seen on time. And so that's just the standard I set. And if you're going to show up a minute before your shift, that means you don't care. Indirectly, you're already telling me you don't care and your head's already out the door. And so that's not good. Um, the next thing that you need to make sure is clear is that, you have payroll set up, that you have a handbook, that you have contracts. I have contracts people sign. That you maybe have a bonus system of how is everyone going to benefit if the clinic or the online coaching program is doing well. Like what are the benefits people get? Because I'm always a big fan of we make more, everyone gets more. That's how I operate. Um, what else? I then would make sure that standards are upheld even when they're like onboarding. So you have a whole onboarding process. You have to check the box and make sure that they are 100% proficient in all the skills that you set. So you do have that. Um, do you have processes and training systems that when they come on, that the training system's already set up, so you are not physically manually doing all the actual training with them, that they can watch videos, that the organization's there on the back end and they got all the things. This is all very, very important. I can go on and on about hiring. I could probably honestly talk to you about it for like 2 days straight. Um, these are all the things that we have in our power circles set up already so that you can take it and start implementing into your business, because we know y'all don't have time to think about this. And this has taken us years and years, over hiring 30 employees to in the business to make it run, and going through processes and systems and seeing how everyone works differently and all the things, and keeping people accountable, and like, what system are you going to have for communication? Is that going to be Slack? Is that going to be Voxer? Is that going to be email? Like, what is that? And so all these things are really important when it comes to the realities of hiring and how to bring someone onto the team. And I would do it before you're ready, because most of you are going to be so scared. You're like, this isn't for me. But if you truly want time, it all goes back to time. If you truly want time, which everyone says they want, that's the clearest calendar they want, then your main goal should be hiring. And if you need help with that, please reach out to me. 703-783-2388. Please reach out and we'd be happy to help, because we have already everything set up that you possibly need. So you do not have to reinvent the wheel and have thousands of dollars worth of payroll that you have to create, because you have to create these systems. We already have them and we'll give them to you. So, all right, guys, until next time, bye.